Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the standout features of this week that we can all relate to collectively, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to me, it's great to have you with me. If you'd care to like or subscribe or comment, you're very welcome. This is very much a community and it's wonderful to have you with me. Now this week does see one of the standout aspects in astrology, the Sun in an alliance with Jupiter. Jupiter in the sign of Aries is very much about new beginnings and freshness. In the sign of Aquarius, the Sun, Venus and Saturn is very much about the collective. It's how we interact and network, it's our friendships, but also our longer term planning. Because last Saturday there was a new moon in Aquarius, which is also feeling the energy of Pluto, the planet of great change, it may feel as if this is a really historic time for many of us. So what does it mean, that aspect between the Sun and Jupiter? I think it can be when we supercharge our longer term plans in a way which feels right for us now. We very often will have hopes, but when we get to that point where we achieve what we set out to do, we realise that we've actually shifted. And I think there can be a little bit of that this week. But Mercury, the planet of communication, is still forging a jarring angle to Mars. Mercury wants us to slow things down and examine possibilities in a very thorough and step-by-step way. It's in the earthy sign of Capricorn. Mars in Gemini wants things to go quick, very quick. But later this week, Mercury actually forges a brilliant link with Uranus, which will help us to embrace things that can speed up. Also, from Monday to Wednesday, Venus and Saturn are still within 3 degrees of one another, and they're asking us to think very carefully about the quality of our alliances. Now, Saturn can either be a cold and limiting influence or a very stabilising one. So we may find ourselves asking some key questions about close relationships, particularly as Venus moves into the sign of reflection of Pisces on Friday. Now there is a quarter moon as this week draws to a close. As much as the sign of Aquarius is very idealistic, the sign of Taurus is very realistic. And there may be something that we just need to make sure it stays in kilter between those two areas. As much as we'd like life to be a certain way, it is as it is. But then at the same time, that doesn't mean to say we can't apply our values and standards to that reality. And that's really what I feel is coming to the fore as this week draws to a close. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what the next year will hold for you as an individual, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, plus in my special package, your life roadmap analysis. This will help you to understand your astrological influences at a much more intimate level. Seize upon the ones that give you possibilities, but also work out some that have snagged you over time. There's 30% off. Please see the link below. And in my special package, you also get your free Zodiac, Vedic and Chinese forecasts for 2023. So Libra, your week commencing the 23rd of January forecast gives you a big uplift. This is because Jupiter in your sector of relating forges an ace angle to the Sun in your sector of self-expression, of romance, affection. This is a win-win angle. It's one that can make us feel much more optimistic, much more on the front foot. But hey, you may be thinking, doesn't Venus combine with the rather strict and miserly energies of Saturn? Well, it does through the first half of this week, but that's just reminding you that if you do feel upbeat and exuberant and bubbly, don't give it away to the wrong person in a romantic context. And all the lessons that have been learned over the last few years for you has been about defending your boundaries in a more robust way. So it's not just give, it's also get, not necessarily quid pro quo, but just a good flow of energy. So if there is someone you're attracted to who you feel is really respectful but also fun and gives to you as well, the tie could really get bedded down in a very stable way. So that's exciting. Now, Mercury does continue its quincunx to Mars in your sector of expansion, Mercury in the sector of thinking about your home, emotional and family situation. So if there is something that's a bit aggravating, it's possible that Mars can amplify that feeling, but it also can see you saying how you feel in quite a vulnerable way. Nothing wrong with that at all. Later in the week, Mercury actually forges a dazzling alliance to Uranus. Your ability to think about how you can use your resources, particularly to do with a domestic matter or anything around a property affair, can actually see you coming up with some fresh and innovative approaches that can work well. Now, as Friday dawns, so Venus moves into the sign of Pisces. For you, this is house 6, where Neptune's been since 2012. It is your sector of sacrifice. It's also your sector of work. If you're applying for a new job or you're looking to build your customer base, if you work for yourself, charm will get you everywhere. But you know that already, Libra, because you have a great gift of communicating skillfully. But over the next 28 days, if you are single, it could be that you will encounter someone in an everyday, rather ordinary situation. Saturday sees a quarter moon. This quarter moon is in the part of your situation where you're very invested. So something may come up for you about any kind of restrictions in an existing relationship. If you feel someone's too clingy or possessive or jealous or uses leverage in some way, you may want to push back against it. But Venus moving into the 6th house suggests that you'll be able to articulate this in quite a straightforward way, but not necessarily a hurtful way if you do need to reinforce your boundaries. But that link between the Sun and Jupiter is super bubbly, so do embrace it wholesomely.